ran into those people that just are master manipulators? I'm talking, they just are able to, hook you and lead you around by your nose to the point where you're, like, literally they've got you so trapped that you are begging. Like, you're begging for them to stay with you, even though in the back of your mind they are the source of all your problems.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
Ended up with one of those people once. They weren't that masterful at it, though, because everyone but me saw through it. I was just too naive at the time to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, none of this makes sense. Why would they do this? Like, why would they be like that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Because they didn't actually function on any form of logic. And whenever I actually learned from the experience and moved on past that, it gave me a lot of insights into spotting red flags in the future.
Yeah.
Some people are just like pathological liars and manipulators. Like, the person I was with had an entire fictional life that they would relay stories to me and stuff from, and it took my best friend hanging out with her on like a trip that we went on together to start to be like, some of her stories don't add up, dude.
Yeah.
And then, like, even after that, it took a while before I finally trusted everyone else that I was the one being an idiot, not seeing it. So, before I finally just cut ties altogether with that person.
Honestly, man, that's just how it is. I mean, some people just are so narcissistic in their own, with their own nonsense that not only do they feel like you should devote yourselves to them entirely, but if you don't, then, you're literally like the worst thing ever to exist on planet Earth. And how dare you not, be groveling at my feet. People will make up any story they can to make you feel bad about, like, why you're not getting down on your knees and begging to be. Huh.
It's the garbage can alarm.
Oh, I already took them down.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I took one down yesterday. So
yeah, because of the chicken.
One, then we're good to go.
Yeah, because of the chicken, right?
Yeah.
Well, I took the other one down whenever I filled it up earlier. So, yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, this, you're correct, because this person's insanity culminated in them screaming at me in a Perkins parking lot, I have cancer! They didn't have cancer. Like,
pathological liar, basically.
as someone whose mother has actually beaten it twice, that's incredibly insulting to me, too, that someone would fucking lie about that.
Yeah, someone whose sister had it, and miraculously it was caught early enough to where it's not going to affect her that much. I mean, dude, that's nothing to really joke about or pretend about. Like, imagine me.
But I swear this person actually believed everything they ever said was true, too. Like, I think they live in an alternate reality, like, in their own head, because they believe their own lies, it seems like.
It's like everything they say is true, and if you don't believe it, then, they want nothing to do with you.
Well, yeah, because you're the crazy person that won't accept the truth from them, like, as far as they say, Like,
it's like, oh, I'm the crazy one.
Yeah, it's like they're disconnected from reality, but we don't see the reality they're living in, so we can tell everything they're saying is a lie, but to them it's real, so they think we're the crazy people. It's like, why can't we see reality?
Why not? Oh, God.
It's like, because your reality is fake.
And speaking of someone who crafted a fake reality and just wanted everyone to go along with it, because of her being like, I'm famous, I'm a big YouTuber, and you should be thankful that I even have anything to do with you. It's like, Illuminati. I know you're sort of in the dark about all the nonsense that Illuminati's got up to. My God, dude. The level of just manipulation and mind games that this woman went through to try and make it to where everyone was, like, on her leash. It's like, it's like nothing I've ever seen. It's just like her insecurity of not being 100% in control of everyone around her literally drives her insane. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but Internet Anarchist has got a bunch to say about her, so why not let him do a little bit of explaining? Here we go.
5 months ago, I published a video titled How Illuminaughtii Ended Her Career in 7 Seconds, where I discussed the disgusting and predatory behavior of a once respected YouTuber, Illuminaughtii. But things have since got a whole lot worse, so bad that she's resorted to sending out legal threats and even personally censoring me. But I won't be silenced. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be dropping the content nuke on Illuminaughtii, a million sub YouTuber who managed to hit rock bottom and dig herself even deeper. To get a clear understanding on the recent developments in Blair's downfall, we first have to take a look at her latest targets for legal abuse, her ex-boyfriend, Oz Media. On the 16th of September 2023, following a cease and desist letter, Oz would upload a video titled Let's Talk, an update on Illuminaughtii drama. A video that was intended to give viewers further context about his upcoming 3-hour-long video on Blair, as well as recording her ongoing efforts to ruin his life.
First and foremost, I need to make everyone aware, for reasons that I hope this update will make clear, for my safety, I need to put a short and temporary pause on production of my video on Illuminaughtii. The video will still of course be produced. I just need to put things on a lower burn and return to regular content for the time being, for many reasons. Some of them being the honest truth that I can't afford to continue at this rate, both fiscally and physically.
The first quarter of the video was spent on recounting events that led him, members of Sad Milk, and Blair to the predicament that they now found themselves in. He also explained his need to continue posting other forms of content to support himself while gathering information on Blair's past.
I've put a lot of things in my life on hold to produce this video, ending up with nearly 110 pages of a manuscript which details as much
Over 57,000 words. Christ.
of what I can. And let me tell you something. Converting this monstrosity into a video when it's a
Look at that timeline, dude. Dude, and I thought the gaming timelines that I did were like, albeit I think I have like more overall lines, like overall like lines of production, but that many cuts and that many like interjections of other things and like layers on top of it, damn. And this doesn't show the after, okay, doesn't show the After Effects composition, so yeah, fair enough.
accompanying 1,000 screenshots has been one hell of a monumental task for me, a one-person team to embark on. As a quick note, Blair's name is not on any of the original documents related to my home. I'm providing all of this information to give full context to the GoFundMe, as I feel it's more than deserved, as honestly, I would feel guilty as hell putting the video on pause shortly after it hit its funding goal, followed by me just continuing to upload regular content without warning.
Oz went on to present some shocking details about his relationship with Blair, and methods of manipulation that she used not just to gain control over his home, but his entire life as well. Even though these are allegations, they followed Blair's tendency to take advantage of other people, and the fact Oz acknowledged that his video could end up in a courtroom leads credibility to his message. According to Oz, at the start of their relationship, Blair coerced him into taking on several poor financial decisions, like co-signing loans with her and paying a deposit for a custom multi-million-dollar home. Blair was exploiting his good credit score for her own selfish gain, and in the process ruined it, which eventually put Oz in debt.
I'm 23, almost 24. In the beginning, Blair walked me into several poor financial decisions. My naivety caused me to believe her reassurances that I could handle all of the financial obligations being dropped onto my shoulders by someone more experienced in life than I was. Why these obligations were placed onto me? At the time, Blair had bad credit, so all of the purchases, loans, everything was being placed in my name. This included included the car that she purchased then revoked from Wonderstruck. I was on the loan as a cosigner only because of my credit at the time. Eventually though, the financial responsibilities that I incurred would stack up on me, building a mountain of monthly debt that would lead me into several financially tight months and eventually just breaking. This would lead me to asking Blair, my partner, for financial help for things such as my home, which she was living in, help from my partner, who at any given time would be making up to 30 times my monthly income. These amounts of assistance would be added to a ledger of debt. And I want to clarify
so lesson
again.
number 1, young people, to learn from this. Don't accept financial advice or allow people to make financial decisions for you who have bad credit. Because the reason they have bad credit is because they are not good with financial decisions in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have good credit and they have bad credit, don't listen to a fucking thing they try to tell you about money.
Not a word. Ugh.
Blair wasn't my bank. She wasn't my landlord. She was my partner at this time.
Blair not only devastated Oz's credit score, but also sought to extend her influence over his life. She wanted to have complete control over Oz, and the debt she created was only one part of her cruel plan. Blair isolated Oz by spreading gossip about his unfortunate financial situation with everyone they knew, and even convinced him to be grateful for the quote assistance he received from her. Once Oz's debt to Blair had grown to almost $180,000, he decided to start working for both her main channel and crypto farm in order to have any hope of repaying the loan. This led Oz to abandon his own channel in service of Blair's, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
I avoided telling anyone who could have helped me see what was happening out of fear of further confirmation, more eyes looking down on me. Something to note, when you're around Blair, your world revolves around her. In my case, my home was hers, despite her name not being on it. I had no friends out in Colorado, a state that I moved to at the behest of Blair. Only Blair's friends were out here. All of my connections had to be approved by her. I wasn't allowed to be friends with people she didn't like, such as Click in One Topic, or even Wonder, once that bridge was burned and reduced to cinders. I was even in a position where my finances were nearly entirely controlled by her, from what debts I took on to later being the fact that she was the person who signed my paychecks. All while my world was painted to me in a light where I should be grateful for her generosity.
By December of 2022, Blair took further advantage of Oz's predicament and convinced him to sign a document that was far from being in his best interests.
When I was 23 and Blair was nearly 31, Blair, with her lawyer, would create an honestly quite confusing legal document for me to sign where I would agree to pay back her debt. Blair, being the person who signed my checks, knew that I couldn't afford legal representation. Blair also knew that the $2,500 that she was having me pay monthly towards that debt was almost as much as I was making monthly working for her. This would mean that I could barely pay for anything else in my life other than the debt that I owed her. Everything I made working for her was going right back into her pocket. Blair would bring me to her lawyer's office, put me in a room alone with the two of them, with papers in front of me. Papers which I foolishly signed for a myriad of reasons, ranging from Blair expressing that this would
never sign anything legally binding until you have someone else look it over. And I know that he said that, you know, he couldn't afford legal representation or anything like that. I guarantee you there are plenty of like legal YouTubers that you could talk to in some way and give them some sort of synopsis of what it is, and they would tell you no, don't sign it, because basically that document means that her hooks are now in you. I mean, even after you break up and you've gone your separate ways.
They were already in him. Because it was probably an ultimatum thing. You sign this or I stop giving you paychecks and you're on the street, basically.
Gosh. Once again, don't co-sign bullshit with people. Especially if you don't 100% trust them.
Would mend our relationship, that it was the right thing for me to do, that this would also protect her legally and prevent her from getting into trouble with the IRS. She also would just...
hold on. Hold the phone. Why the hell would she be in trouble with the IRS? I mean, if she started an LLC and she is paying you, you know, legally paying you, and those taxes are already being taken out if she's going through her LLC, then why the fuck would she be in trouble with the IRS?
Described to me, and while I can't remember if this exact word was ever used, she essentially explained to me that because she used company funds to assist me, that she had committed embezzlement. And by converting the amount that I owed her into a loan with her company, this would save her skin legally.
In the 3 years that they spent together, Blair orchestrated the demise of Oz's credit history, isolated him from his support network, and got him to sign away whatever chance he had from escaping her prison of debt. Even though things seemed bleak, there's still a silver lining. Prior to uploading this video, Oz set up a GoFundMe to help pay for living expenses while he created his documentary on Blair and covered the inevitable legal fees that he would face in his battle to keep his home. As of this recording, Oz has surpassed his funding goals and currently sits at $44,000 raised.
Damn.
Considering the details on Blair's alleged crimes that Oz intended to share, it only made sense that she would try to cripple him financially, just like what she did with Wonderstruck. Blair feels threatened by Oz and is more than desperate to keep him quiet while she frames herself as being the victim. With Discord screenshots reading, "The worst part, honestly, is that Oz worked for me, worked with a team, and he knew that doing this would hurt their livelihoods. Like, you want to be a bitter ex that's mad I moved on and found love? Fine, go to therapy. Doing this to get back at me or punishing me for leaving him? It's insane. I still cared about him. I didn't realize he was the one masterminding this. He's mainly doing it because he owes me almost $200,000 that he took from me. Like, goddamn, we broke up at the end of 2021-ish, and when I finally started to see someone new in January, he broke into my computer and read through my Discord DMs to find messages. He found them, lost his shit, told my employees I, quote, cheated, and told them the channel is going to fall apart in a couple of months and to look for new jobs. He plotted this from the start, with a brainwashed member of the Discord server saying, wow, that's psychotic. These are leaked screenshots from Blair's private Discord server from a user by the name of FPS Diesel, and they perfectly picture Blair's need to bend the truth in order to satisfy her own ego, even if she was the one that lied, manipulated, and used someone else that she previously called a partner. As horrible as that might sound, this isn't the first time Blair abused her boyfriend, as the one that came before Oz suffered an equally terrible fate. On the 6th of June 2023, a YouTuber by the name of Swoop released a documentary that brought to light one of Blair's previous relationships that went unnoticed during recent times, but in retrospect foreshadowed many of the patterns of abuse and manipulation that we've seen recently. According to the allegations and information from the interview that Swoop conducted, Blair and a retired YouTuber named Azothan dated for around 2 years and 6 months. While things were relatively pleasant at the start, it was only a matter of time before Blair began to show her true colors. During the relationship, Blair would, quote, take me to Vegas to confess her love, but had a backup ticket to send me home that night if I didn't reciprocate, unquote.
Whoa! What the fuck? Hold on.
That is so
But
fucking
had a
weird.
backup ticket to send me home that night if I didn't reciprocate.
Wow. Took to Vegas to confess her love, had a backup ticket to send you home if you didn't reciprocate. Wow. Wow.
Unquote. Once the pair settled in together, Blair would attempt to control his life even further, as she, quote, demand I spend my time exclusively playing Dark Souls 3 with her in my free time. Any attempt to go out to parties, karaoke, or just make any social and emotional ties other than her were met with punishment, unquote. The punishment that Azothan was referring to took the form of Blair verbally abusing him, ignoring him for weeks while she went off to a party with other men she met on Snapchat, and then alluding to all the, quote, fun she had without him when they resumed contact. At some point, Blair promised to do a collab video with Azothan, since she had a much larger audience that could help increase his reach on YouTube. Sadly, when it was time to follow through on those promises, Azothan was met with some serious pushback.
What I'm saying is that I was angry about the fact that you were the one who proposed a collaboration, and then as soon as I was ready and put all this effort into it, you just kind of shut me down. It just seemed...
So it had nothing to do with the fact that I go, oh, I'm moving, I'm busy, I'm doing every single day. The only thing you had to ask me is, when are we collabing? When are we collabing? When are we collabing? And it's like, oh, you're treating me like a fan, Blair. And I'm like, well, perhaps you should have stopped acting like one.
You want to say you don't attack me, but then you straight up cook and call me a liar over things that you are no 100% true. I'm done with it. I'm done with you.
Because God knows why, because you're bitter about a breakup because your cash cow left you. Like,
By this point, their relationship...
She has a very, very, like, just snide-ish kind of way of just acting.
Well, there's a pattern that it's always the dude that's bitter about her breaking up with him because,
Sorry, but didn't she just brag, like, right before their breakup? Brag about how she, she ignored him, and then bragged about how she went to this, party thing with a bunch of guys from Snapchat and just, like, rubbed it in his face about how much fun she had with these guys that she met on Snapchat. It's like, I'm sorry, do you not realize the mistake there? Like, you're literally fucking around on this guy, and then you're flaunting it in his face, and you're wondering why he's upset.
So far, though, with this whole situation, I'm just wondering exactly how much of this stuff has actually been backed up by receipts from people. Like, because it's all been pretty much just word of mouth so far from what I've seen.
No, you saw the private stuff on Discord, like her...
Yeah, what she said in defense of herself is all I've seen. So, I don't know. It's just... I hate to take sides on a situation before I've seen actual receipts of people being, like, really shitty, you know? So far, it's all just stories of supposedly what she's done. But this is the first I've heard of her. Like I said, guys, there's probably receipts. If there's this many people against her, there's probably receipts to be seen.
The receipts haven't been brought up here. Maybe they're in the other video where Internet Anarchist is talking about her. But I've seen the receipts, dude, and trust me when I say this. There are very few redeeming qualities, if any at all, about Blair, Illuminati. Period. Like, the level of the level of, like, once again, manipulation, coercion, and just outright fraud that she has committed against people. It's baffling that she's been allowed to get away with it.
But Blair's abrasive attitude towards Azothan wasn't the only contributing factor. Before they broke up, Blair had an obsession with taking down two particular creators that were growing faster than her and made similar Reddit-based content. From the 19th to the 23rd of April 2019, in two now-deleted videos, Azothan addressed Blair's efforts to destroy the reputation of a competitor named Miserybox, even using the ensuing controversy to boost her own YouTube metrics.
It's important to call out bullying, lying, doxing, and threats. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that Illuminaughtii has engaged in all of these behaviors. I feel that I must state up front that for the last 2.5 years, I was involved in a romantic relationship with the YouTuber known as Illuminaughtii. This relationship ended recently, and while none of the facts stated here are related to that association, it would be dishonest for me not to state this immediately.
He continued by explaining Blair's motivation for attacking another creator, as well as her slow descent into obsession that eroded their already weakening relationship. When confronted with the harsh reality of her own actions, Blair defaulted to throw Azothan under the bus in order to save her own skin.
And I asked you a simple yes or no question. Were you talking ill of me to other content creators? I even said I didn't think you were. It was just...
The answer is no.
I don't understand.
But now
it's dodged it.
Now it might change to a yes because now I'm going to have to protect my ass.
Another point worth noting is that during Blair's quest to tarnish Miserybox's image, she took audio assets from his former Discord mods and refused to credit them. She even went as far as threatening them if they spoke out about it. If he stood in Blair's way, didn't give her what she wanted, or called her out on her borderline psychotic behavior, she would use any and every method possible to get her perverse revenge, even if it meant using past trauma against you. Quoting, "Blair and I had a phone call where she told me that I was beneath her, that I was always going to be mediocre, and that she was better than that. About her calling me mediocre and a burden, those words were the exact ones I used 5 months before when I attempted to..." From the revelations during the Sad Milk controversy to the strikingly similar allegations brought forward by two of Blair's ex-boyfriends, it seems like it doesn't matter who she has to hurt or what lies she has to spread, as long as she has something to gain from it, manipulating and then discarding friends or colleagues once they'd outlived their usefulness. For a time, that strategy worked out pretty effectively for her, as she ruthlessly dominated the MLM niche and made millions in ad revenue. Tragically, what goes up must come down, and currently, Blair's Machiavellian empire has certainly come crashing down. Following the many allegations stacked against Illuminaughti's brand, Blair's only remaining friend group, the Leftist Mafia, severed all ties with her on their latest podcast appearances.
You can't do this to people and then just not respond. Like, there needs to be accountability, there needs to be an apology, and like, I believe in restorative justice, but in my opinion, Blair has not even started to take those steps for restorative justice. She hasn't, I genuinely don't even know if she thinks that what she did is wrong.
On the 26th of July 2023,
have her own friend groups against her. She must be pretty bad. So.
MLM creator, I Cruel World Happy Mind further expanded on her own unpleasant experiences with Blair in a video titled The Fall of Illuminaughtii, YouTube's biggest bully.
I am sorry that
A 2.5 hour video. Jesus.
I was ever friends with you.
Did you see Legal Eagle was accused of plagiarism by another YouTuber called iilluminaughtii?
I can completely understand why she would be compared to Creepshow Art after this situation.
She went from seeming to be petty to seeming to be outright malicious and full-on evil.
This is a perpetual onslaught of accusations backed by convincing evidence by the people who knew her best.
She outlined Blair's slander campaign against her as she was going through a very stressful pregnancy, something that Blair was very much so aware of, attacking her at the slightest opportunity for pointing out similarities in video topics covered.
I was terrified of losing my baby. The doctors were just urging me to stay healthy and limit my stress. And then all of a sudden, I end up in one of the most stressful dramas I have ever experienced, where someone is trying to ruin my career and attack me online. And it feels like they have so much more power than I have that there is nothing I can do about it.
Cruel World Happy Mind wasn't the only anti-MLM creator that came out with allegations of Blair's misconduct and content theft.
And we had multiple group chats full of other creators, other people who weren't even creators, who were just like really into researching MLM stuff. Like, we had a lot of people behind the scenes.
What is MLM,
digging up.
See.
Multi-level marketing, really? So these are all pyramid scheme creators?
Hold on. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy.
I think he said anti-MLM creator when he was talking about this, though. So I believe that she is like against multi-level marketing, like trying to bring awareness to pyramid schemes, essentially.
Yeah.
Illuminaughtii, I don't know about.
The allegations of Blair's misconduct and content theft.
And we had multiple.
They have so much more power than I have that there is nothing I can do about it.
Cruel World Happy Mind wasn't the only anti-MLM creator.
Yeah.
That came out with allegations of Blair's misconduct and content theft.
And we had multiple group chats full of other creators, other people who weren't even creators, who were just like really into researching MLM stuff. Like, we had a lot of people behind the scenes digging up a bunch of stuff, for lack of a better term. And one of the group chats I was in was also the group chat that had like all the mods to a Facebook group that we had called Boo is Woo. And they one day sent a message to the group chat and was like, by the way, just so you guys know, Blair/Illuminaughtii's writer just requested to join the group. I denied them. And obviously, literally the reason why, and I think she even says it in the messages, I sent you the screenshots, but I'm pretty sure she straight up is like, after what she did to Madison, like, we don't want to help Blair. We don't want anything to do with her. Like, we've been working too hard on this.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd have been, like, already scripting my deep dive for a week or two, maybe. Like, I mean, just kind of organizing everything, like, so
and
much.
It's more so just knowing that she probably was not going to credit you guys, like, properly.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Blair didn't stop there and copied information from Savannah's olive tree video a few weeks later. While all these and many more allegations were being put forward, Blair's channel had rightfully been withering away. In addition to the massive 330,000 subscribers lost, the average video on her channel only gets about 20k views. And on closer inspection, it seems like she's been deleting comments that referenced her downfall. The decline in engagement is rather ironic when you realize that Blair's channel is about to be surpassed by The Click, a creator that she once tried to destroy in every metric possible: average viewership, sub count, and channel engagement. To make matters worse, users on Twitter have begun informing Blair's sponsors of her misconduct. At Mint Mobile, you need to drop Illuminaughtii from your sponsors list. She has done things that aren't becoming of your brand, and you shouldn't want her to represent you. As well as another screenshot showing someone reaching out to ExpressVPN who they themselves stated that they wouldn't be working with her anymore. In the past, almost all of Blair's videos had included at least one sponsorship, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Only a select few of her recent uploads feature a sponsor, and the rest include Blair promoting her Patreon subscription. Speaking of Patreon, Blair has steadily been losing paid subscribers since the controversy began back in April. Money was always something that Blair would do anything to get, and now it seems like she's losing it by the truckload. Her viewership has plummeted to record lows, sponsors are dropping her, and now she's bleeding Patreon members on a daily basis. Blair built her pyramid-shaped empire on the backs of her closest friends and fellow creators, while also harshly censoring them when they tried to speak up. She weaponized her influence and subscriber base to bully others into getting whatever her heart desired, and felt no remorse for doing so. It was this exact lack of remorse and overinflated ego that led her to pick a fight with Legal Eagle, which ended up giving her past victims the courage to speak out. It started with The Click, then Wonderstruck, all the way to Oz Media, creators that she stole from like Cruel
She's
World, Happy Mind,
real
and
world
Savannah.
smart, isn't she? Like, it's like, out of all the people you're gonna try to pick a fight with, let's pick a fight with a lawyer.
A literal lawyer.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Marie made their voices heard. All it took was Blair making one impulsive tweet that pulled back the curtains on her dark past. Abusing her power was Blair's blueprint for getting ahead on YouTube, but it was also the reason for her downfall. Now, the channel that she spent years cultivating is a shadow of its former self, and there's still the matter of Oz's feature-length documentary that might prove to be the final nail in Blair's corporate casket. Subscribe.
Yeah, I would say if that's not already out whenever it drops. Especially if he's like collected all the receipts into one place.
Oof.
Like that's gonna be like the final Kamehameha wave disintegrating her into particles, you know?
Basically the spirit bomb just dropped right on her head.
Yeah.
And I hope it does wonders to expose the level of just depravity that woman has. God.
It's very irksome that someone can pick like a good thing, like trying to raise awareness about something that's predatory while simultaneously being a predatory themselves. Like, really?
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Hey guys, don't let these highly manipulative and lying like formats take advantage of you and take all your money. Meanwhile, I'll take advantage of and take all the money from people around me. It's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah, it does me too.
It's like a tyrannical king being like, down with tyranny! Tyranny is fucked up and no one should do it! What about you? Kill that man! Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone kill him! Now!
But I thought you just said, kill him now! Okay. God.
Tyranny is bad!
I ain't got nothing else to say about Illuminati. I mean, we'll see once Oz drops the full-length thing, the full-length feature film, whenever the hell that is. But, yeah, I got nothing else to add. So, until next time, everybody, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.